What's up, YouTube? This is Too Long for TV. All right, so you guys remember a couple of days ago, I did a video talking about Shaq. He was on a sports podcast when the interviewer asked him who he thought was the WOAT. And that's an acronym to mean worst player of all time. And he said the name that most of us thought he would say. And that was none other than the Minnesota Timberwolves center, Rudy Gobert. Okay? And pretty much what he said was that when you look at the contracts that he also mentioned Ben Simmons, the contracts that they have, and with Ben Simmons, his issue more or less is an inability to perform at the level that was expected of him, the level that and promise that he has shown in the past, and not being available. Now, some of it was legitimate injuries, but some of what Ben Simmons is, you just get the feeling like he don't really want to play. He talks about, I remember in the past, him being hurt and suffering from certain injuries, from various injuries, but then, you see footage of this dude from TMZ doing the, dropping like it's hot in the club. With Rudy Gobert, I get what he's talking about. I get what he means. Now, he's not the worst player in NBA history. But when you look at what his value market worth is, he has the market value of a superstar. Remember, it was a record number of picks involved in the trade that sent him from Utah to Minnesota. So when you look at the value these guys have, and when you look at the production that Rudy Gobert puts out there, which, I mean, it's okay. Like, if he was like a regular Tyson Chandler type dude, nobody would hate on him. But he's supposed to be this GOAT defender with 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, which is the most galling to me. And then I understand what Shaq means, But yesterday, Rudy Gobert responded to Shaq's, in his mind, criticism. Rudy Gobert said on X, quote, "It is sad to see someone that has accomplished as much as Shaq, both in sport and business, still be triggered by another man's finances and accomplishments. I get the entertainment part, but unlike other folks, you don't need that stuff to stay relevant." So that's Rudy Gobert's response. I don't know if Shaq heard his response, but Shaq doubled down on what he said the other day on USA Today's Sports Seriously. Today, Shaq doubled down on his comments and wants his original take to serve as motivation for both Rudy Gobert and Ben Simmons, saying, quote, "It's about personal motivation. So now, Rudy and Ben, show me what you got." See, like, people don't understand the things I'm saying now on TV. It's the same things I said to my players as a leader. Young man, you're getting paid $20 million. You ain't doing nothing. Step your game up. The outsiders that we know, they're like, "Oh, he's hating." No, I'm not hating. I'm telling you the truth. And if you don't like the truth, that's something you got to deal with. So now it's out there. It's viral. So show me what you're going to do. Rudy and Ben, shut me up. I look at it like this, man. Shaq ain't perfect. Shaq does and says things that get on my nerves, like a lot of people, man. But in this situation, I think Shaq is 100% correct. In this generation now, this newer generation, when you say something that is even perceived as criticism, it's instantly called hate. When the term hater or hating has been grossly perverted. And it doesn't even have the right, it's being misconstrued and not used in its proper context. Shaq looks at himself, and I said this in my other video, Shaq is one of the greats, and in particular, one of the greats at that position. I would say Shaq is a top 5 all-time center. Okay. I would say top 5 are Chamberlain, Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Shaq, and Olajuwon. Those are the top 5. Okay. If you want to expand to a top 6, put Moses Malone in there. So Shaq has a right to voice his concern when he sees these dudes making all this money. Because see, look, back when Shaq was playing, if you made top dollar, you were expected to be a great player. You couldn't get away with putting up, if you getting top dollar at the center position, you couldn't get away with averaging 10 and 7 and 0.8 rebounds in a series. No, you couldn't do that. No, you can't win 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards and have a negligible impact out there in the playoffs when it really matters. So Shaq is challenging these guys. The problem is, these dudes today, they built different, man. They fold. They don't like to be criticized. These dudes are poor, spoiled, entitled, elitist, you know what I'm saying, celebrities or personalities who just happen to play basketball. You had one of these guys recently say that the pressure of making millions is unbearable. Let me tell you something, man. Don't say that around regular people, man. That's something that tell you these guys live in a bubble, man. And look, Shaq and them made a lot of money, and Shaq is rich. But Shaq caught it. Shaq caught hell when he was younger, when he first came to the NBA. He was getting all this praise and all these endorsements, and it's cyclical because it happened with Shaq. Shaq got more hype, I think, than any other center, I would say, since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But the difference is Kareem won a championship his second year in the league. Wilt Chamberlain, although it took him 8 years to win a title, at least he was perennially getting in the playoffs, and for that time, it was fewer rounds. He was getting to the playoffs and at least getting to the finals a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Shaq, he kept getting swept out of the playoffs. He got swept, 94, 95, 98, 99. Almost got swept in 97. He was getting criticized, man. All the great centers at that time were giving him the business. What are you talking about? Chamberlain, Russell, Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, all those guys. And Shaq didn't appreciate the time, but over the years, I'm pretty sure he's grown to appreciate that. So he's challenging you guys. And he has a history of doing this. He did this with Dwight Howard. When he sees somebody that's like being positioned and put up to all-time great status, yeah, it probably does trigger him because, he had to deliver. You know what I'm saying? We can criticize whether or not he was doing it against the best centers as far as, compared to other eras. But at the same time, it's not Shaq's fault. But he did it. He won 4 championships. He was part of a three-peat, the last three-peat in NBA history. He dominated in the finals in a way that very few could match. You know what I'm saying? So Rudy Gobert, man, you're a choke artist, bro. And you're an offensive liability, which makes you a liability in this era. Teams can play small ball against you because you're not an offensive threat. When teams are playing small ball, you should be averaging at least 25 and 12 on teams. At least. Do you think a team can get away with playing small ball against Nikola Jokic? Hell no. Giannis? Hell no. And Joanna B? Hell fuck it, no. You? Yep. So that's how I look at it, at least. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell me what you guys think.